I just wanted to do a live reaction of this fic I really liked. It's called Zombieplate by Fren_the_ghost. I really liked this fic, or so far I have, you know what I mean? And they just released another chapter, and I'm not gonna do a blind reaction to the other chapters because I've already read them. But I haven't read this one yet because it released on Sunday, and I didn't go to see it, and I feel so bad about myself. As I should. Okay. Vincent, the night of their first exploration. As they had been trekking through the woods for a good long while now, it's entirely possible he misjudged the vastness of the forest. How do you misjudge the vastness of the forest, buddy? It's a forest. It is a forest. Bruh. I wouldn't expect anything less from Vincent. He probably hasn't been outside of his freaking bistro in like 10 years. And miscalculated the scale on the map. But Rhodey wouldn't know the difference, and that's all that mattered. Yeah, as long as Rhodey is fooled, it's all A-okay. On the bright side, look at him being optimistic. The forest was quiet, which not only made it easy to keep an eye on their surroundings, but also meant lots of critters were out and about. Didn't you just brutally blow up a deer, buddy? He was reminded of one of his few childhood memories, this one in particular of him frequently running off to play in the woods for a while. He'd dig up bugs, and once he lost his sense of taste, oh, who is he kidding, before that too, eat them or pull them apart out of curiosity. There was one time he found a stray cat in the forest, and he scooped it into his arms. Oddly enough, animals no longer like him the way that they did when he was young. Yeah, I can see why, friend. I can see why. His hands still smell like gasoline. He can't smell much, but that smell is something that sticks with you like tar. Oh, that's a good touch because, man, the name escapes me. Aguzia, I think? Yeah, Aguzia. It often comes with, losing a lot of your sense of smell, so that's a good touch. Rhodey was being ridiculous. They've only just begun their journey. It's going to be impossible to make it across the country if they're fighting already. Over something so silly, too. Fine, maybe Rhodey was right. It's the way that the creatures weren't dangerous at that distance, and Vincent did it just to... Well, he's not totally sure why he did it. He liked it, though. Sadism! He takes a deep breath of the fresh air, looking at the moth that had been following Rhodey and himself for a few hours now. It was, if he recalled correctly, a great peacock moth. Oh, I think those people in the comments called it. I didn't call it, but I'm going to pretend like I did. I called it, guys. I knew that it was going to be a great peacock moth because I'm just that good. Despite being generally harmless, aside from your run-of-the-mill allergy, Van Gogh had incorrectly labeled it as Death's Head and imagined a skull where only stripes lay on its body. Yeah, that's because Van Gogh was crazy. Is this true, by the way? I don't really feel like looking it up. He wanted to add a painting of it to his house someday, but never got the chance. If he was correct, they usually weren't known for being the most social bugs in existence. Why would it be haunting them? Maybe it wanted food, although he only has meat on him, which reminds him. Stop here, he demands, grabbing Rhodey's backpack and making him lurch back. He begins digging through the bag's pockets, fetching out some of the rations he had stored. My gosh, Vincent just ragdolled Rhodey. Get over here, move. Freaking scorpion, Vincent. Rhodey just looks at him for a long time. Wow, a lot to unpack there. Firstly, I'd appreciate it if you didn't grab me. Use your words. He sneers, clearly upset over something so little. You do that a lot, you know. Vincent rolls his eyes, not really listening as he takes a bite of meat. Second, what is that? Use your words goes so hard. Oh my gosh, it's kind of fair, Rhodey, though. I would be a little bit irritated if somebody just grabbed me, like, just say stop! Is it that hard? Jerky. No, it's actually graffol. Grassful. Graffol. Hold on a second, everybody. Everybody pause. Graffo. Oh my gosh, I can't spell the word pronunciation. I'm so stupid, guys. Okay. How to say faux gras.
Foie gras.
Man, I got it basically right in a way. No, it's actually foie gras. I've compressed it into bite-sized form for your enjoyment. I do hope you are such a jerk! Rhodey groaned, snatching some of it. It smells wrong to him. Ugh, what animal is this from anyways? Vincent looks at him for a very long time. I'm gonna assume that, this is a human. Or wait, didn't he get meat from that zombie, like 2 chapters ago? He doesn't enjoy Rhodey's presence whatsoever. He's repeated to himself enough times that it has to be true. Unfortunately, despite this, he very much doesn't want Rhodey to leave. Because he needs his strength, obviously. Rhodey is strong and big, kind of a meathead. Stupidly big heart. Good, but stupid. His arms are really the only part that's of use to him. Vincent will simply use him to get them both to the safe house where his stupid girlfriend is probably being kept. Maybe she could just as easily be very, very dead. And then they will go their separate ways. Man, not just dead, but very, very dead. Ouch. You know it's bad when you get hit with a very, very dead. But for now, he simply can't let Rhodey leave, for something deep inside the back of his head won't allow it. So of course he lies. It's Cal. I'm a chef, remember? I stocked up on non-perishables before we left. It'll keep well enough. He takes a bite of it himself. He gags internally at the texture against his numb tongue, but wears a mask of nonchalant indifference to prove he hasn't poisoned it somehow. You know, that zombie might be poisoned. Have you ever thought about that? If it had, like, rabies, then that's already infected. Rhodey eyes him suspiciously, nevertheless, watching the meat in his hand like it'll jump out at him and eat him instead. He sighs. For being the most naive man in the world, he's awfully suspicious of what's supposed to be his travel partner. I guess causing explosions behind his back didn't help. Oh, you think! You think! Oh, wow. What an amazing observation, Vince. Oh, well. I promise. He finally forces the childish words out of his mouth, forcing a 5-star smile onto his lips. All at once, Rhodey's face lights up like 1,000 suns, like it did when Vincent first met him, and internally he's a little glad the rotten world hasn't infected his spirit yet. And he takes a big bite of the jerky, devouring it messily. You promised, he reminds him, speaking with his mouth full. You eat like an animal. He purses his lips, crossing his arms across his chest as he watches. You don't really eat at all, Vincent. Are you still like those really gross smoothie things? You probably eat cheeseburgers with a fork and knife. I don't want to hear it. Eating cheeseburgers with a fork and knife is the best way to eat them. But also, I don't really like burgers, so... Yes, don't kill me. I hate burgers. I hate hot dogs. I hate Mexican food. I hate root beer. I hate sushi. I hate kimchi. I hate most Korean... Okay, look, I'm very picky. I don't know how I got on that tangent, but it's okay. It's okay, guys. But basically... What was the point I was getting at there? Oh, yeah, it's okay to eat burgers with a fork and knife. He snorts, wiping his mouth on his shirt. Vincent recoils, just the concept of eating that disgusting him. I don't eat burgers, period. When Rhodey gasps like he's been shot, Vincent continues to speak, avoiding discussing the real cause of his disdain, although he's quite certain his opinion wouldn't change, even if his circumstances miraculously did. Too greasy. What? What? That's worse! What do you eat? Oh, a smoothie twice a day, full of all the nutrients necessary, and sometimes if I'm feeling sad, which is all the time, a lemon and wine. Oh, gosh! No, Vincent! Vincent! A lemon and wine. Bro's just getting drunk, hammered all the time. He racks his brain for a normal answer. He is a chef who should be thinking of an answer a lot quicker. Finally deciding he's been quiet for too long, he just gives in. What does he have to lose, anyway? Lemons? Like lemon pie? Lemon tarts? No, just lemons. What? I love that even in a zombie apocalypse, Rhodey is still judging Vincent's taste just the same. There's the awkwardness he always dreads during these conversations. How can you stand just eating raw lemons? Aren't they sour? I wouldn't know. When Rhodey raises his hand over his chest like he usually did when he was confused, Vincent takes that as a cue to continue. I don't have a sense of taste. I could tell. I saw the decorations in your apartment. I mean, those paintings were... As in taste buds, Rhodey, he glares. I lost my sense of taste when I was younger. Man, Rhodey... in-game and in this fic is just brutality, 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 brutality. People are always surprised when they find out that Rhodey was mean in college, but, you know, you can kind of tell. You can kind of tell. Vincent deserves it, obviously. Vincent in-game literally chopped up Mannion and ate her, but, like, Rhodey didn't know that at that point. He was just brutalizing the guy. Wow, really? How'd that even... He cuts himself off, much to Vincent's mercy, when he... glances to meet his eyes, quickly attempts to change the topic into something that won't get him killed in less than a week of knowing Vincent. Really? What happened in this fic to make Vincent lose his taste? That's interesting. Shameless plug. In my fic, I'm gonna have Vincent have a stroke. I'm not saying that mine is better or anything. That kind of sounds like me having a superiority complex. The point is I'm excited to find out what made Vincent lose his taste here. Well, no wonder the jerky tasted weird. Clearly, that was the wrong topic change. Vincent stops walking for a moment, leaning forward with his arms crossed. What's wrong with my cooking? Well, clearing his throat, he looks away from Vincent's eeky eyes, pouring into his own silver ones. Nothing, totally fine. He doesn't return to walking, despite Rhodey continuing forward. It isn't until they are about 3 yards away that Vincent speaks up, surveying the arrow. We should get to the next town by, let's say 8 a.m. tomorrow? His ginger-haired companion spins around and marches to its counterpart. Break, pause. This is the intermission scene song. This is the intermission sing song. sing song. This is the intermission scene song. Okay, anyway. Rhodey, night of their first exploration. Ha! You said... Vincent powers through Rhodey, honestly, quickly, calling him out for his miscalculation, focusing on the map that he once again took from Rhodey's backpack after grabbing his arm to get his attention once he was in a close enough proximity. Man, Vincent is so touchy-feely, but I bet you he would not like being touched, like just randomly like that. He raises an eyebrow at the man being so touchy, seeing as he's never seemed like one too. Oh, wait, I read that wrong. He raises an eyebrow at the man being so touchy, seeing as he never seemed like one to, but doesn't comment on it this time. It's useless, Rhodey. It's a useless endeavor. So, we should really find a spot to camp out at. We've only come across a handful of zombies so far, so we should be safe. Do you really want to risk your lives on a should? We should probably, maybe, kind of, ish, possibly, maybe, probably, kind of. You know, my friend told me maybe we would be safe. Probably, it's okay. Rhodey looks up to the sky, watching the sun bury itself in the trees and dirt and bring its blankets of pinks and oranges across the sky, draping the blue and brand new hues as he half listens. Sunsets are so beautiful. Gotcha, here, make it pretty and I'll make us a fort. He tosses his backpack to Vincent, poorly hiding a snicker as it almost sends Vincent falling back while struggling to catch it. Ah, jeez, brutal! The glare being sent his way makes him busy himself with collecting wood for a fire and shelter instead of giggling over how red it made Vincent. The guy really did weigh 90 pounds soaking wet, didn't he? He supposes he wouldn't eat much if he couldn't taste it either. Do you even know how to make one of those? Vince sighs. Probably Vincent, sighing, wrapping the blanket he had seemingly oreganoly nicely folded into the bag and covers the patch of dirt Rhodey had picked with the bluish-gray fabric. Excuse you? I was a Boy Scout for 3 years. That's definitely something I could see Rhodey doing. You know, I almost wanted to join Girl Scouts whenever I was a kid, but, like, did I really want to sell cookies? I was kind of tuned off as soon as I found out that you didn't make the money. If you made the money, I'd be all in. I would be a Girl Scout every day. I would be a Girl Scout now. It was true, and something he took great pride in. He wasn't necessarily good at selling things or raising money. He left that to other kids. He preferred the arts and craft part. That and singing around a campfire. Oh, they should totally make a campfire. Sure, yes, they were technically on a survival mission and not just on a vacation in the woods. But that didn't mean they couldn't have fun. He grieves the loss of his guitar for a moment. Rest in peace, Rhodey's guitar. Let's have a moment of silence. The moment of silence is over. Did I scare you guys with me suddenly talking? Or did you just skip through that moment of silence? If you did, how dare you, and also welcome back. Here, let me find where I was at. But that didn't mean they shouldn't have fun. He grieves the loss of his guitar for a moment while collecting wood that seemed dry and sturdy enough for either burning or shielding them from the elements. That makes sense. Yeah, it does! He fist pumps, taking it fully as a compliment and not really thinking about any other possibility. He balances the branches against a steep incline of rock and dirt, moving the blanket around a bit to be positioned under it. If this was a video game, Rhodey would have just been returned to max HP by Vincent's compliment. Ta-da! He announced he was far too proud of something that Vincent just looks and blinks at. And where am I sleeping? Ah! He looks at it again. He really isn't very big at all. He was a lot smaller last time he made a tent of any sort, so he may have misjudged the proportions this go around. It's kind of small, but I mean, unless you want to sleep somewhere else, I'm okay with sharing if you are. Yeah, that sounds good. We can share, he replies quickly. Must be pretty tired. Rhodey considers briefly before shrugging and moving 2 rocks around a pile of sticks a few feet from their fort. What's that? Campfire. Vincent snorts a laugh before realizing Rhodey is dead serious. That's funny. Oh, right, and we can sing songs to attract ghouls to us. Rhodey groans at the man being so utterly boring. Wait, oh my gosh. I think I might have literally read that in the wrong voices. Okay, redo. Yeah, that sounds good. We can share, he replies quickly. Must be pretty tired. Rhodey considers briefly before shrugging and moving 2 rocks around a pile of sticks a few feet from their fort. What's that? Campfire! Vincent snorts a laugh before realizing Rhodey is dead serious. Oh, right, and we can sing songs to attract ghouls to us. They're zombies, guy! Vincent, they are zombies! Rhodey groans at the man being so utterly boring. Firstly, they're zombies. You tell him, Rhodey, you tell him. You've been telling him that for like 3 chapters. Same thing? Second, absolutely, if I had my guitar, he whines, throwing his head back. I miss my guitar. Oh. Let me play a sad song on the world's smallest violin. violin for you, Rhodey. You play guitar? Vincent questions as he moves to sit on one of the rocks, tossing Rhodey a lighter so he doesn't have to start with one with two twigs. My dad gave me mine. He proposed to my mom with it. I'm totally proposing to my wife with it, too. Vincent, surprisingly enough, seems to be listening, resting one arm on his knees and using his other hand to prop his head up. Rhodey tosses the light back as the flames eat away at kindling and begin eating the dry wood. Man, I wish that I could just have a happy-go-lucky time sitting around a campfire, but for some reason the ash always seems to directly aim towards me. The smoke, creates a bomb, and it just goes directly towards me and nobody else. Yeah, it's rough. It's a hard knock life for me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Cheesy. Romantic much? Oh, shut it. He has to laugh while Vincent looks away, suppressing a smile of his own, and tries to ignore the truth that throbs in his chest, the horrifying truth that maybe, just maybe, he doesn't hate Vincent Charbonneau's presence right now. It's honestly devastating to realize that in the current state of life, playing guitar around a fire with Vince doesn't sound too unbearable. You know, I really know, nothing about you. You haven't asked much, unless you're raving over Miss Mannion Thatcher. And away the feeling goes. Okay, Rhodey, that's a fair point. He rolls his eyes. Come on! 21 questions, let's go! Somebody else who knows the real meaning of 21 questions. Absolutely not. Rubbing his face with the hand that had been propping it up, he relents. Fine, you first, I'll think of something. Rhodey smiled, brightened before putting a finger by his chin to think away too deeply about his question, knowing that Vince would never let him get a whole 21 questions in. I guess the only thing I know about you is the restaurant, huh? You know, that, and you're kind of a maniac. Maybe it's for the best I didn't get high there. The, L'Aiguille de Saturne, he corrects, voice both prestigious and prideful. A mix of tones that Vincent is most definitely familiar with. Ouch, yeah. Well, it is his restaurant, I'm not gonna lie. Rhodey can just imagine if he ended up getting hired by this guy, and then he got slapped across the face, and also his girlfriend got eaten. You know, in that weird alternate universe that definitely did not happen. Sure, it paid well, but he can't see Vince in a position of professional authority. Not in a way that doesn't resemble the military being commanded by their tasteless general, that is. The Mouth of Saturn, that's the name in English. It's inspired by one of my favorite paintings. Tell me it's not one of those horrific ones in your apartment. Vincent's eyes widen in genuine shock and offense. Okay, but they're not really good apartment paintings, are they? Only comparable to when Rhodey insinuated his cooking was anything less than perfectly perfect in every way. What's wrong with my paintings? I think they gave me nightmares, Rhodey shouts back in rebuttal, Vincent scoffing in disbelief. You have no taste. Do not. He shuts the joke down before Rhodey can even open his mouth to start it. You're talking about Saturn. Oh, wait, I read that wrong. You have no taste. Do not. He shuts the joke down before Rhodey can even open his mouth to start it. Oh, brutal. Making fun of a man's disability, Rhodey. Ouch. Ouch. You're talking about Saturn devouring his son by Francisco Goya. Probably butchered that. Yeah, I did look up the pronunciation for the Frogo thing, but I am not looking up that pronunciation. He shivers at the memory, a recreation. He's sure Vincent's rich. He's not that rich. I have a painting depicting a large man with gross gray hair sprawled across his head down to his shoulders, lifting up a corpse to his lips. You know, that painting, it's in the Gravity Falls book, the Book of Bill. It's really cool. Yeah, it's awesome. It's referenced in there, just briefly in one of the pages. It was the wide, empty eyes the large man had that made Rhodey feel sick every time he passed the frame in the hall. It's about Saturn, the original king of the gods. Some know him better as Kronos. Rhodey shrugs a little, knowing he knows very little about this topic, and if he's being entirely honest, doesn't really care about the details. Vincent ignores this and continues, who was so afraid of being overthrown, as he did his own father by his children, so he ate them whole. Oh, is that the backstory? I did not know that. That's cool. An equally horrifying painting for a horrifying story. He glances at the jerky before realizing he actually isn't hungry anymore. So much for campfire stories and snacks. He pokes the wood with a long stick to keep the warm flames going, the crackling adding a nice ambience to their conversation. So why'd you name your restaurant after a cannibal again? Because I'm a cannibal, Rhodey. Okay, no, I know he's not. I know the lore, okay? Technically not a cannibal. He was a titan and his children were gods. Right. So a not-cannibalistic giant murdering his children for totally normal reasons. Go on. Vincent swats away smoke that seems to be keep following him no matter where he decides to move. Oh my gosh, it's so me! It's me! Yes, I feel so seen. Clearly not a fan of roughing it in the outdoors. Me neither, it's okay. I never said it was normal. He defends before sitting next to Rhodey, deciding that if the smoke would get caught in his hair, it's going to get caught in Rhodey's too. I thought it was an apt metaphor for how sometimes you need to make sacrifices to not be consumed yourself. You need to eat or be eaten. That sounds like a well-adjusted person who totally doesn't support giants eating babies. Vincent doesn't have a response. He just shrugs noncommittally and looks up at the sky where the smoke finally decides to funnel without the winds manipulating into their faces. Rhodey considers it for a while longer. He's sure he's missing several details of the story, but it still makes his stomach churn. Similarly, but not the same feeling he got when he saw the deer. The memory arising makes it worse, though. Jeez. I can't believe someone would do that. Well, you do know that it's a fake story, right? It's, not real, Rhodey. Vincent turns to him, blinking twice before gesturing for him to continue to elaborate in some way. It dumbfounds Rhodey for a moment that Vincent can't immediately know what's wrong. It should be so obvious, shouldn't it? Eat their kids? He pokes at the fire to distract his thoughts from things so gruesome, thinking of campfires and Mannion instead. Rhodey's got two things he likes in his entire life. He likes campfires, and he likes Mannion, and he likes that guitar, but the guitar is out of the picture. Guitar's gone. No more guitar. He probably bashed it over a zombie's head or something. Is it the famicide or the semi-cannibalism? Both? That's the dumbest question I've ever heard, Vincent. That's so stupid. Not criticizing the writing, by the way. I like that question. The stick hits the ground with a soft thump as he tosses it aside in exasperation. Seriously, do you need someone to teach you how to have a soul, or is it something we need to find you? Vincent doesn't respond with words or actions. It's telling. Rhodey laughs semi-bitterly before noticeably sobering. I can't believe a parent would do that. For whatever reason, Vincent laughs at that. It's just a myth, he scoffs, seeming equally disbelieving of Rhodey's care as Rhodey is for his apathy. Yeah, it's okay. You guys are completely different people. Let's shove you together and make you kiss! That's what I like in my fan fictions. As the fire dies down and the orange hue creeps away from their shadow-draped bodies, the warmth too leaves them. The cool breeze of the wooded area makes the man next to Rhodey shiver, although it doesn't have much effect on Rhodey himself. He's always been proud of running warm. Man, running warm is so much worse than running cold. I hate being hot. I hate it! Silently, Vincent rises from the rock they had ended up sharing, dusting himself off and fixing his hair before moving a few feet aside to their fort. He lowers to his knees and crawls in, adjusting until he's on his side. Rhodey's never been the greatest at observation. We can tell, buddy. We can tell. But even he can tell that Vincent's breath is far too unsteady to be of that of someone sleeping. He sighs and waits just under an hour before following suit. He shuffles awkwardly into the shelter he had admittedly shabbily made. Ouch! Man, I've never been camping before, and I can't wait to never, ever go camping. Even the thought of this is making me a little bit like, ugh. I don't like being outside that long. It's just the night that bothers me. I need to be in the same place, you know? It's the only way I can sleep. Here, where were we? For a while, he attempts to keep his distance, putting about 2 inches between each other. Ouch. It's the most uncomfortable he's ever been, probably. He should just volunteered himself to keep watch. Staying awake all night would have been preferable to stiffly keeping his distance to a man he sure hates his guts and is decently sure is just pretending to be asleep still. That's a curious thought. Does Vincent hate him? Wow, what nice late-night thoughts. They remind him of sleeping by Mannion, and the moment his mind compares Mannion to Vincent, he internally gags and recoils even further! Ouch! Oh my gosh! And while he'd stay awake watching her sleep, he'd wonder if she really loved him or if she was just pitying him. He wasn't sure why she loved him, but if he's being so horribly truly honest, he was so afraid to ask. She was so kind, though, that when she woke up and she told him she loved him, it felt like another law written into the universe. A new Bible was written every time she smiled upon him, a new promise that stated, Rhodey Lamoury is loved. Wow, I really like that description. He thinks maybe that's why it crushed him so much that day. A shiver shoots down his spine when he realizes he is shockingly cold. He was relaxed enough to no longer be stiffly pressed away from Vincent. The man's skin is ice cold, even through his leather jacket and shirt. Rhodey questions for a moment if Vincent would be so cold down to his core if he was set alight by his own lighter. Wait, what? I think I read that wrong. Sorry. Rhodey questions for a moment if Vincent would be so cold down to his core if he was set alight by his own lighter. Maybe it'd melt his heart. Rhodey laughs a little, receiving a mumbled groan from his companion. Vincent's probably just sitting there like, shut up, please! Rhodey's probably been mumbling about Mannion, like, thinking he's being quiet. Vincent's just like, let me sleep. It's already hard enough as it is. He supposes that is what Vincent is. Maybe he does hate him, but even then, they're companions. Sorry, he whispers in return, resting his head on the dirt. He falls asleep 13 minutes later. That night, he has a nightmare falling into a green bottle filled with repulsive smelling liquid. A cloth is shoved into the top, and he finds he can hardly breathe. There's a strike of a match before everything around him is worn. His tiny dream self has a final horrid thoughts before he burns, shutting his eyes and leading back to float in the liquid. At least he'll be warm. I loved this! This was great! This is really cool. I don't really know how to end it, so like go check out the fic. I can't really link things and I don't really know why, but like just go check it out. And since you're the author, I'm assuming you're probably the only person watching this other than like my parents. Hi, I like your writing. That's cool. Outro. I have cute dogs. Bye.